I'm gonna take this in a different direction. So let's say you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking about interviewing. This is what the power of modeling is. Like if you go into an interview and you're sitting across from someone, you can't, I mean, unless you want to lie on your resume and say, I also went to Purdue and I got a great degree in engineering. But if you model the person sitting across the desk from you, there that you can get them to have you fall into the just like me bias. What you can do in a lot of interviews, especially with people that are senior level that have big egos, is you get them to talk. And they walk out of the interview and they think you were great. And you didn't answer any damn questions. I interviewed for a vice president's position and I knew one of the guys interviewing me had a huge ego. And I just kept telling him, I saw you do this for years. He's like, yeah, you're right. He would get into it. And he would ask me another question. I'd give it back to him. And I was told through feedback that I should have never gotten that it was the best interview he'd ever done. And he talked 80% of the interview and I got the job.
I think I know what you're talking about too. And I could see that strategy working on this individual.
Yeah.
100%. If you don't do homework, and very simple homework, you can find all these things out on LinkedIn, by the way. All you have to do is Google Ian Matthews if you're going to interview with me. And you could find out very quickly that I'm from Michigan, that I root for Detroit sports teams, that I went to Purdue. And if you bring these things up, you are going to get me blabbing without me even noticing that you're doing it to me. So I think Frank's advice is brilliant. You get that. You try to find parallels that you have with that person, things that we have in common. And so that when they leave the interview without even knowing it, they're thinking, man, that they're just like me, and you will get hired. Just that simple. It's really that simple.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.